Hey everyone, it's me Stagger. I was doing some research for a future video that I'm planning on making, and then I got a message notifying that I obtained a comment on one of my videos. So I checked it out on my phone, and it turns out it was the spammer that spammed on my on my previous casual skyblock video, and it's the same exact person. Discovery MC Admins is the name of the person. However, in this case, they're just asking me if I would go to their server. But the thing is though, this time they're not asking for my money. This thing is saying, "Hello, I own a network dedicated to help small Minecraft YouTubers like yourself. My server is professionally owned with 10 to 40 players on daily. We give YouTubers like yourself exposure as well as ranks with donor items. It is also a great place to collaborate with other YouTubers. If this interests you, please come check it out. The IP server is discoverymc.com. If you're really interested, add my Skype, which is blah 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 at gmail.com. So your Skype is a Gmail account. Okay. I just added YouTube ranks to each server to help YouTubers like yourself grow your channels. Now, first of all, let's define what YouTube ranks is. Oops. So basically, it's just statistics of your subscribers here. That's all it is. Now the thing is though, last time this guy commented on my video, he asked if I can donate a few of my YouTube earnings to the server. In fact, this guy even claims that there are donor items that you can get, which means it's an unfair server. And obviously, any server that offers donation, that gives you like certain prizes for donations, is clearly, well, it's obviously a very sketchy in terms of how they do it. Now, I'm not sure. Now, there are some people who's like, oh yeah, you just go to the website and you do PayPal or whatever, and obviously you can actually make money by owning a server within regulations, but obviously, anything that requires some kind of payment in order for you to, gain access to certain items or whatever, that's a big no-no when it comes to any kind of video, or when it comes to any kind of server. But anyway, back to the topic of his previous comment, though. Last time he asked me if I can donate a small of my YouTube earnings. Problem with that is, I only have 94 subscribers. You need 100 to be eligible to be basically a YouTube partner, and you have to have at least 1,000 views and upload every single day. Now, obviously, I don't meet those requirements. So, anyway, if you look at this guy's channel here, you can see that he only has, only has 3 videos, with one just being posted around 7 hours ago. He does have a pretty decent amount of subscribers though, so who knows, I could just be speaking jargon, but whatever the case is, this person, just goes up to random people's videos that, play Minecraft and, says, hey, check out my server, and that's about it. Now, obviously, obviously, for all we know, he could be being legit, but like I said, anything that requires you to, pay to get certain items or whatever is a big no-no. You should never join a server for that reason. And, yeah, you should never join a server for that very reason. So, yeah. Yeah, and plus, here's another thing. Let me go to my channel. you can clear that, this guy is just here to drop off that message and nothing more, because if you look at your analytics or statistics, as I guess statistics are not available yet. Well, that should show you everything. That means that there is no view time on this video. There may say that there are 2 views, but one is just for that guy to drop off the comment, and the other one is just me. Obviously, this guy is trying to... Obviously, this guy is a spammer. It's a spammer and possibly a scammer. So, yeah. Yeah, if you get something like this, just report spam, and it's all good. Everything is good. So anyway, now with that out of the way. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and continue playing Casual Skyblock. Now, I wasn't actually planning on making this video, but you know what? After seeing that scammer making his second approach, I thought, why the heck not? I'll just make a video just so that way I can actually... Oh, okay. I'll just make a video so that way I could just say, oh yeah, hey, this guy is pretty desperate. Let's go ahead and just show that he is indeed a scammer. She is indeed a scammer. It could be female for all I know. Are you kidding? Oh, okay, there you go. That's weird. Okay, need a drink of water. So yeah, even if I were to get 100 subscribers, honestly, I wouldn't really care. I promised myself from 2006, before you can even get paid for YouTube content, that I would not get paid for anything that I make in here. And besides, I don't really care much for, being famous or anything. I just do this as a hobby. This is my hobby. This is something that I just do just for fun. It's not something, it's not a race. It's nothing to be really cared for. I mean, hell, even views is honestly not really a big thing for me, because I can have 0 views in all my videos as long as I'm having fun. Now, I know it's contradictory to something I said a while back, where I said pretty much one of the biggest things that gets me motivated is comments. But, well, pretty much motivation of comments is something completely different. But, I don't know. Just the fact of me just going behind a microphone, hitting record on Bandicam, and just enjoy playing the game. Honestly, that's actually something that I do because I just like doing it. There's no other explanation. So anyway, off camera, I actually got a lot more cobblestone because I have noticed that I was actually going on a shortage. Even though I had still had this completely full, and this was 30% depleted. But yeah, essentially, yeah, I did a little bit more farming, and that was pretty much all I did last episode. This episode, we're going to be continuing on finishing up this mob farm here, and basically, oh yeah, and as you can kind of see here from up here, the magma blocks do not, keep this thing warm. So eventually the ice will cool off, and then you're back to square one. In fact, I can go ahead and state that this area here is the only area that has not melted. Well, that and where I put these torches here. Torches everywhere, really. Even the jack-o'-lantern here. But probably that's because there's a heat source adjacent to the water. If I were to go to my for it to go over here, as you can kind of see here, it's a little bit half and half, where things melt, but at the same time they freeze over again. Like, as you saw there, that melts, but it'll be freezing over again. So I gotta figure out a way to kind of keep this melted. Even here, kind of has a similar issue. Like, as you just saw right there, that froze over, and then that started to melt. So I gotta figure out a solution for that. But as for right now, the biggest concern is actually finishing that thing. So, and I just realized I forgot to put on the music, or no, I forgot to put the music in the description in terms of what it was. I'll go ahead and do that after recording. So, where are my magma blocks? Did I put them in the other chest? Oops. It's not there. Where did they go? I put them in here. Yes, I did. Okay. So now, I'm going to be putting on will be hopefully the last time I use Azure Dreams music. I love the soundtrack, don't get me wrong, but, you know, I feel like I used it a little bit too much. In fact, in the original episode 16, I actually used Pokemon Mystery Dungeon music because I felt like it was probably getting a little bit stale for some viewers, or for the little viewers that I see, but I see actually watch this stuff. I pay attention to view time, people. But where is... Okay. I will go ahead and get everything situated off camera, and I'll start playing the music too. Alright, so hopefully that should be enough pickaxes. And as for the music, well, of course, the last song that are in the towers of this game. So, yeah, pretty much. Again. Alright. So, I was not preparing to make a video for today. Oh man, I just love those drums. Anyway, I was not prepared to make a video for today, so commentary ammo might be a little bit lacking. But essentially, as for what's going on in terms of my life, or really what I was doing. Okay, so about that video I was doing, well, basically it was actually something that I pretty much never done before, but I've always wanted to do, and that was a top 10 video. And because I am quite the Pokemon fan, I decided, well, why not make it about Pokemon? As you saw there was a bunch of there was the list of the Chinese names of Pokemon, and yes, that is going to be involved. But then I realized, like, later on that, well, Pokemon in Sun and Moon are actually about to be coming out, so I might actually need to wait until Pokemon Sun and Moon actually do come out. So essentially, what's going on with in terms of that, well, basically, I don't think anyone has ever done this before. Where, oh, that was kind of a weird skip. Anyway, I don't think anyone has ever done this before. I mean, there have been people that made certain top 10s of the certain topic that I am going to be talking about, but I don't think they've gone over pretty much every single one of them. And I'm not saying every single Pokemon on there, but it is. But okay, fine. I'll explain it a bit, since it will be until December probably when you guys see it, or maybe even much later because, you know, obviously I gotta prepare the video. So anyway, what this I just realized I'm just spoiling my original idea, and someone else is gonna make it, and then people are gonna be commenting like, "Oh, hey, yeah, you just totally ripped this off of this guy." Well, I got some video editing to do. Oh dear. So anyway, but yeah, basically I am making something that pretty much no one has done before in a Pokemon Top 10. So yeah, and just for the record, I'm not focusing on the Chinese language, basically. I'm not focusing on that. I am actually focusing on a completely different thing. Well, it does involve the Chinese language, but it involves other languages too. You know, I should probably just stop talking before I spoil my original idea. Ah, dear. Anyway, so I guess I could talk about linguistics because, you know, linguistics is quite fun. So apparently I am learning a bit of Chinese, and apparently in China, puns are kind of frowned upon. In fact, there's actually a law regarding puns, stating that, you know, they're not really supposed to be in practice, really. So in other words, there's a ban on puns. Excuse me. There's a ban on puns in the Chinese language. Mainly this is due to the fact of China pretty much keeping to tradition and not really wanting to kind of decimate their language, because Chinese is a very, very beautiful language. But apparently China sees that any puns is actually considered discrimination against their language. So yeah, they kind of have a ban on puns there, and it does hurt me because despite being a linguist, I actually adore puns, and you know, it kind of astounds me that, you know, it is so bad to the point where they actually had to make a law banning all puns, and oh man, that is just that is so hurtful. It hurts me. It hurts my heart really bad just saying that statement. That there's a ban in puns. I feel so dirty now. But you know, I understand. Chinese is a very, very beautiful language, and you know, I don't want it to be destroyed either. But you know, puns are fun. In fact, actually, when I was first learning Chinese, I have noticed that actually a lot of it is technically puns. Like, the first thing that I've learned was basically the different forms of ma. There's ma, and ma, which can actually be put into a sentence, believe it or not. Mama, which means mom. Ma scolds ma horse. So mama scolds the horse, which is actually pretty funny. And unfortunately, that's actually kind of where I stopped the. That's actually where I left off, but. So yeah, I am still a huge beginner to Chinese, but I am learning as I go. When you saw that list of Chinese Pokemon, that was actually me in the process of actually learning a little bit of Chinese as well. So, you know, that's why I kind of like games in general, and playing games not in English English is because I actually get the chance to actually learn a language that I don't. You know, Chinese, French, Korean, English. Well, actually, I know English already. I can even learn more Spanish from games. I already know like 50% of Spanish, but I'm not very fluent in terms of speaking. Reading, though, that's fine. Like, I can say, like, I can start a conversation and whatever, but then after that, I get confused. With Korean, you know, Chinese alphabet, Korean, I know the Korean alphabet, I know the Japanese alphabet fairly. I'm not very fluent in that one, but surprisingly enough, the Korean alphabet is actually pretty simple. It does take a little bit of practice because it's kind of an unusual feature of combining a bunch of letters to create new ones. And in typing, I really hate to be the person that had to be. I really hate to be that person that had to insert every single letter in the Korean, every single Korean combination in the Korean alphabet. But essentially, it's not as intimidating as it looks. Basically, if I remember correctly, it's been a while since I looked it up, to be honest. There's only like 20 something letters in there, and all you do is just combine them, and that's it. In a way, I guess you can kind of like compare it to the Chinese language, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. Chinese, oh my gosh. I have no idea how China is able to memorize all of those symbols. I understand that, you know, Mandarin Chinese, which is the language which is the type of Chinese that I'm learning, they actually do have, they're basically like based off of pictures of certain objects or stuff. Like, for example, the key, which is tree, looks like a tree. Gi, which looks like, key is definitely tree. Then Gin, which is gold, which kind of looks like a little temple, and temples in China are laid with pretty much red and gold. And then dragon in simplified Chinese actually does look like a dragon. In fact, the Chinese name for Porygon is actually 3D Dragon, which I actually found a little bit confusing, considering that, you know, it's a duck, not a dragon. But you know, I'm not really going to be complaining about that. So I'm not really going to be complaining about that because, you know, I guess if you kind of squint, it does look like a dragon. Porygon Z does kind of fit the dragon territory if you look at Latias and Latios. But other than that, really, I don't really see how a Porygon can be considered a dragon. And this is actually in the in the Mandarin Chinese sense. In the traditional, which is the Hong Kong Chinese, or Cantonesian Chinese, that's what it is. Cantonesian Chinese, which is the Hong Kong Chinese, they actually call Porygon living square beast. That's its technical translation, but, you know, so they clearly know it's not a dragon, but it's clearly a beast that's square, rectangular, which then loses its faithfulness as soon as it gets to Porygon 2 and Porygon Z, because they're very, very round. compared to Porygon, but you know, that can be kind of forgivable considering the fact that Porygon's name kind of sticks to entirely throughout its evolution, so they just thought, well, might as well keep Living Square Beast as its evolutions as well, because it's pretty much a direct translation to the English, Japanese, Korean, French, and German names and Spanish name too. Spanish names and Pokemon Spanish names are actually the same as their English counterparts. So, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I can accept Living Square Beast, Living Square Beast 2, and Living Square Beast 3, Living Square Beast Z compared to 3D Dragon, 3D Dragon 2, and 3D Dragon Z. So, because I don't understand how it's exactly a dragon. But whatever, you know, that's the name that they're going for, so might as well just accept it. Anyway, so yeah, this turned out to be another Pokemon conversation. As I'm just mindlessly mining all of this stupid stone. But it's alright. It's all part of them. It's alright. That's what I get for coming in without any proper conversation ammo. So, yeah, basically. Anyway, so... Oops. Anyway, so yeah, just, if you took anything from this video today, just make sure that there is just make sure that there isn't any necessarily, yeah, make sure that you do a little bit of research of your on, like, you know, people that are spamming on your servers, or spamming on your YouTube videos saying, oh yeah, hey, look, check out our channel, we even have ranks, which, by the way, I actually did research on that a little bit more. Apparently what they were talking about is that you can officially attain the title of YouTuber in their server if you join their server. That's what they were talking about. They weren't talking about, oh yeah, we will increase your YouTube ranks, which is to be expected whenever you make a video. Like, period. Every single video you make, you have your chances of increasing your view count. And if you get seen on another person's channel, then, you know, obviously you're going to be increased by, obviously you're going to get your channel increased by a bit. But whatever the case is, you know, don't, you know, if someone actually asks you, hey, if you check out my server, don't do it. Just don't, because, you know, obviously they just want your money / IP address or whatever. So just, you know, if they do, you know, make sure that they actually have a website and not a YouTube account. And look at their website's private policy. I know that's a pain to read and no one bothers to read it, but, you know, if they have a privacy policy, make sure that you read the whole thing and make sure that they know exactly what they're talking about. So, yeah, and then if it ends up, you know, breaking that privacy policy, then you have the legal right to actually sue that, you have the legal right to sue that person in breach of contract. Even though you don't sign anything, it's still, or, wait, no, it's maybe not as breach of contract, but, yeah, you do have the legal right to sue that person, because, well, obviously they made a false promise. So, yeah, I don't join a server unless they actually do have a privacy policy. So that way I can actually go back to them stating that they breached their own contracts or privacy policy or whatever the privacy policy is. I'm calling it a contract, but yeah, essentially, yeah, they break that rule, so therefore they can't necessarily, do that. And I actually read all that stuff too. I read the privacy policy. I read privacy policy. I read like terms of service and all that. I read it all. So yeah, I know that what I'm getting into before I even join whatever the thing I'm joining is, whatever I'm signing for. Even people who hire me. In fact, I remember actually, getting an interview, and they actually showed me a contract. I read through the whole thing, and they were shocked because they never seen anyone ever reading. They never actually seen anyone read the contract during an interview. So that completely caught them off guard. But they actually didn't mind. They actually waited for a very long time. But unfortunately, I couldn't agree to the terms of service because I couldn't really agree to that contract because of certain reasons I can't really disclose. But yeah, basically, I had to decline, which sucked. Well, anyway, it seems like I won't have enough magma blocks to fully, finish that up, which is quite irritating because, I'm pretty close. I'm actually pretty close, so, yar. And, yeah, so I guess I'll do another nether trip. Make sure to get some glowstone and some magma blocks. And, pretty much, that would be what would be the goal for the next episode. So, yeah, that's it, and I'll be seeing you.